Hey guys, it's your friendly friend here, Andrew Davidson, and welcome back to another As Per My Ability video. Thanks for clicking on the video, thanks for spending time with me. If you like what we do here at As Per My Ability, if you like board games, if you like videos about board games, if you like just our content and our videos in general, then at least give a thought to subscribing to the channel, commenting, smash the like button, and make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications when we post new videos. This video has a little bit of a nebulous title. What kind of gamer are you? I didn't really think that sentence entirely through, as we could be talking about the different types of gamers, meaning you're really an aggressive player, or you're more of a reserved player, you're a player that likes to take a lot of risks, you're a Euro gamer as opposed to a Amerithrash gamer, you're like heavy on theme, or you're heavy on gameplay, which they call narratology versus ludology. I didn't really mean for any of those, as this video is going to be super basic. So to get some clarification before we hit the sweet intro and I possibly waste your time, I want to just clarify what I mean by what kind of gamer are you, at least in this video. I'm going to be talking about the frequency of your gameplay. How often do you play games? Which is why this is a really important video for you to comment, because I do want to engage and interact with people that do see this video and maybe get a little bit of a discussion going. Now that we have the clarification out of the way, hopefully you'll stick with me. I'm ready to go. I've got my cheat sheet right here, and so I'm ready. Hopefully you're ready as well. Let's roll the sweet intro, and then we can get on with the program and we can get back to our lives. Welcome back to the program, everybody. I'm gonna get my chair situated. I am ready to go. Today we're going to be talking about what kind of a gamer are you, and that's in reference to frequency, I would say, as far as how often do you play board games? What kind of a gamer are you? Or maybe you and your significant other or family members or what have you. Now, in full disclosure, I did not put a ton of thought into this video. I'm just being honest with you. I set up the camera and kind of just jotted this down before I started recording. So I kind of scrambled my brain for about 3 minutes, and this is what we got. So I'm just being honest with everyone. I didn't sit and really contemplate all of the factors that can go into how often you play games versus how much you don't, if there's such a thing as waxing and waning of games, which I know that's a thing because life happens and maybe there's the death of a loved one or something and you just don't find yourself gaming as much, or maybe you relocate to a new city and you don't find yourself gaming as much, or some people that you used to game with you had a falling out with, unfortunately, and so now you don't seem to game as much. I didn't really put in every single factor, social factor, personal factor, maybe even just your mental health factor for playing games, although I think playing games would be really well for mental health, but that's a discussion for a different video. What I did was I basically jotted down 4 categories, and I should have been like an actual YouTuber and take this seriously and labeled every category or level. I have them written down as levels, and so I don't really have names, anything cutesy or clever. Maybe you can comment and let me know what you think every level should be called. That would be kind of fun. It's always fun to outsource and have other people do work for me. That's always great. But like I said, I have 4 levels. Level 4 being the least, and level 1 being the most. And of course, I'm going to delineate what each level is and what I think about it. The reason I'm doing this video, I've told this story in the past, so I'm going to tell it again super brief. There was someone, a female that I knew once upon a time in my life that I don't know anymore, that basically considered board games of any type, like board games, card games, even down to Uno, as a complete waste of time. She was the type of individual who values being outdoors and being active and being somewhat, athletic for her anyways. The thought of sitting down at a table for any length of time to play a game, especially if you're going to play a really thematic game that's going to take 2 to 3 hours. I mean, I was speaking with her about some of the games that I like to play. I think I may have been talking about Arkham Horror. She just thought the whole idea was abhorrent. Like, if you're going to sit and waste 3 hours of your life, according to her, if you have 3 hours to spare, there we go, let's start over. If you have 3 hours to spare to do anything with your life, why would you sit at a table like sedentary for 3 hours and play a board game when you could go to the park and, I don't know, whatever, run around with your kids, or you could just go for a bike ride? And not necessarily everything she mentioned was outdoorsy, although I'd probably say about 95% of it was. But other stuff that wasn't in the outdoorsy category would be, things that were still very active. Other things that weren't necessarily hobbies, but things that you could do around your house, like a fix-up project, repair that creaky door in the bathroom, or fix the shower, or I don't even know. Things that keep you busy poking around the house. That's how she defined a really good usage of the 3 hours. And I thought about it for a while, which is why I'm making this video, and like I said, I've shared this story before. And I thought about, how you spend your time is important, but having hobbies and enjoying the social aspect that comes with playing board games, it's also really important too, especially on your personality type. I mean, it takes all kinds of people to make the world go round, but hobbies are important, and board games are obviously a hobby, but I think they're a really significant hobby, even though our modern world is moving towards everything being electronic. And I see, VR, like virtual reality. Now you can't even sit in front of a TV and play on an Xbox anymore. Now that's kind of like old hat. Now you have to strap on and hold these things and do all these virtual reality things. Like, now that's the cool way of playing games. I think, and this might be just me being an old fuddy-duddy, I think there's still some edification, meaning something we can really learn out of playing board games, about coming together at the table to socialize, to either work together and work as a team, or work against each other and have some good-spirited competitive nature between people. Hopefully it stays good-spirited, although I have seen that fall, like a House of Cards. I think that board games are important. It made me think about this whole video that I'm doing right now and categorizing people by levels. So I'm going to start off with the topmost, which is level 4, or we'll say category 4. And category 4 is basically, like I said, you play games probably once a year. I'd say when grandma comes to town for the holidays, around Christmas time. It's usually a big time for families to be together, and that's when they usually play party games or word games, Scrabble, just kind of games in general. Or if they're slightly a little more elevated, maybe something like a Ticket to Ride or a Pandemic. But regardless, I would say you would be a category 4 or a level 4 if you're someone who plays games about once a year. Now, you could play multiple games within that session, that's not what I'm talking about when I say one game per year. I don't mean literally one game. But what I mean is you get together with your friends and your family at Christmas time and you play maybe a couple of games of Time's Up or some other party game that doesn't take forever to play. Something like Secret Hitler or The Resistance. If you sit down and play The Resistance for an hour, you're going to probably play anywhere between 3 to 4 games. So that's not really what I mean when I say one game. I'm just saying that you kind of get together to play one game session a year. Coming one step down from there at level 3 or category 3, I have written play games 2 to 4 times a year. So these are the people that, again, adding on or compounding onto the holidays, so that you play games around the holidays, but you also play games maybe around certain events, such as somebody's birthday. Maybe someone has a birthday party and they want to invite people over, and so you play some party games or some heavier games, or you get a lot of people together and play a huge session of monikers or something like that. So in 12 months, I would say you play, and again, 2 to 4 sessions, not necessarily games, but 2 to 4 games in 1 year, in 12 months. You play the holidays, but you also don't really play just the holiday season. You play for other events as well, like if someone's got a birthday or they just passed the postal exam and they got good times coming and they're throwing a little get-together and want to play some card games or some Uno or what have you. That would be level 3. Moving on up to level 2 or category 2, I have written down here that you play games multiple times every month. So maybe you're a gaming club, like a meetup, where you meet every, once a week, and so you get your plays in there. Maybe you're a weekend warrior, so you also get together on some Saturdays when you're not working, and so you play multiple times within a month. And so that would be, I'd say, a level 2, a category 2. Just to recap before I hit number 1, we've gone from you play just once a year, like at the holidays, then you play at holidays, but then also at other particular special times in people's lives, either your own or someone else's, like a significant other's. And then the next one is you play multiple times within a month. So that means you're playing way more than 2 to 4 sessions a year. You're probably doing 2 to 4 sessions in a month. The last one, category 1, is pretty self-explanatory. You can't swing a dead cat on BGG without hitting someone that's a category 1, and that would be someone who plays games frequently. Now, this would mean multiple times within a week. So, again, with adding all that other stuff, because we're compounding here, so holidays, birthdays, all that other stuff, but you also play within the week. Maybe you do work Monday through Friday, but you do have a chance on Wednesday evenings to play, your Dungeons and Dragons group, or maybe there's a meetup. And then you also play maybe on the weekends as well. And then Mondays, you have your significant over, and Mondays is kind of your date night between the two of you, and you'll play some type of a card game, or some 2-player game, or some legacy/campaign game that you've been working on. You are going to be playing games frequently. The only times where I've just flat out refused playing games has to deal with illness and being sick, and I think everyone can understand, or at least appreciate that. But other than that, these are the type of people that are always down to game. So DTG. They play multiple times within a week, even within the work week, within the weekend, Saturdays, Sundays, multiple times. Maybe they hit up a meetup. Maybe they run a meetup. Maybe they run multiple meetups, and they're involved in a D&D session, so they do that on Saturdays. They play games a lot, and those are the people that you will probably find on BGG, people that play games very, very frequently, especially people that are YouTubers are on YouTube talking about games. They will play games practically every day to some degree, whether if it be something short, something long, multiple games, whatever it may be. Category 1 is basically where I would probably say that I'm at. Now, I never really addressed, like I said in my little list here, never really addressed outside factors that I mentioned before, where it waxes and wanes, kind of ebb and flows. I'm currently kind of on an ebb and flow situation I was just doing the luau or whatever? Yeah, the ebb and flow. I'm an idiot. I am not quite as frequent as I used to be. In my undergrad college, I was basically kind of living off of some student loans and living the cheap college life. And I had a best friend that we basically we were over playing games every day. Every day we were seeing each other playing games. 2020 hit with the coronavirus, COVID-19 pandemic, and we basically lived together. So it was just like we played games. We knocked out so many games. So that was kind of an ebb or a flow, and then now it's kind of ebbing where maybe I'm more sitting down to work on my graduate thesis or editing the video that you're watching right now, or trying to write something for the blog on the website. Where are you at right now? That's where I'm going to leave this video. And so, like I said, I want to hear from people. I want to hear your comments. What level, what category would you place yourself in? Or maybe if you can come up with some cute names for them, that would be pretty sweet. But where would you say that you're at? Or maybe where would you like to be at? Or a spot where you once were? If you played games more frequently, what was the change? I listed some at the beginning of the video as far as relocating or having falling out with your gaming group and all that type of stuff. Anything you feel comfortable sharing, I would love to interact with every single one of you and comment back and just kind of hear where you're at. Where do you think that you are at as far as my categorization of gamers and the frequency of your gaming? Comment, let me know, where are you at? Where do you think you would be at? Or if you're not where you would like to be, if you're not playing games as frequently as you want, what has been the factor? What has changed? And maybe we can get some people to chime in to be supportive and also agree and tell you stories about, yep, I remember when that happened. I remember when I had my first child, and games, just raising a newborn, it's hard to get games in. I digress. I do not have a child. Please comment. I'd love to interact and get a little bit of a dialogue going with all of you. So once again, my name is Andrew Davidson. You've been watching As Per My Ability. This is where I'm going to leave us. So I will see each and every one of you awesome gamers at the next video.